Hi everyone. In keeping with the theme this year of looking at lesser known battleships, I have found another book in my collection, more of a booklet, but still something worth bringing up and discussing with you. And it is the Warship Profile 39, covering the USS Mississippi, which then became the Greek battleship Kilkis. For those who may not be familiar, but Warship's Profile was a magazine that was regularly published in the 1970s that produced extremely detailed, highly illustrated booklets focusing on specific ships. Some of these individual volumes were eventually put together into 3 omnibuses, and you had these 3 volumes of Warships in Profile, which covered the various ships in the individual magazines. This one never got covered. This one is just in its own little magazine booklet, rather. This particular one is written by Karl Lautenschlager. Apologies if my pronunciation is off. And it covers the history of this particular battleship. My interest lies in its service in the Greek Navy as the Kilkis and its sister ship, the Lemnos. And this is covered as well in this book. We get the first half, which is about 5 or 6 pages, is a quite well-detailed look at the construction, the history of this ship as the USS Mississippi, and then its eventual sale to the Greek Navy, where it became the Kilkis. With Warships in Profile, the highlight was always a beautifully illustrated spread of the warship in question, and you can see some of those up here. This particular edition also has some fantastic drawings that, if they can be located, would make a fantastic addition to Kagero Press. Hint, hint. That look at the details and the layout of this battleship. What I also particularly like as well is there's even a focus on identification features, particularly in the bridge layout, showing the difference between the Mississippi, which became the Kilkis, and the Idaho, which became the Greek battleship Lemnos. I would also love to hear from a Greek naval historian and understand what it was like to operate these 2 battleships. From the snippets that I've picked up here and there through various resources, is that these 2 ships were quite a strain on the Greek Navy and on their resources, and one of the reasons is that they were put into inactive status quite early on. They were used as training ships and then as artillery batteries, but in the Second World War, both were quite quickly sunk. The second half of this book is a very dry but extremely detailed look at the various components of the battleship. Its armament, its armor, its layout, its engineering. Have a strong drink because it is extremely technical, but of course if you are technically minded, then read it first. Sadly, both the Mississippi/Kilkis and the Idaho/Lemnos were quickly sunk in World War II, and then after the war their wrecks were salvaged and scrapped. So it was a sad end to these 2 ships. But again, these are battleships that we rarely hear of, and anything that we can find, particularly in the English language, that has detailed information about them is worth checking out. And it's just fascinating to understand how other navies operated and worked on these very complicated, very expensive pieces of machinery. So if you are a model maker, or if you are interested in early dreadnoughts, and in particularly this early one, which was in the Greek Navy as the Kilkis, then do check out Warship Profile 39. For me, for all of its detail and for everything that they managed to pack into it, it's a 5 captain's hats. It's a fantastic resource to have. So, if you're interested, do check it out. USS Mississippi, the Old Miss, or as it became known, the Greek battleship Kilkis.